What's up, AtoZ Sports Live on a Tuesday. Gonna have a fun show today. Easton was just had his battle axe on Twitter yesterday, just going to town, going to defense of young Titans right tackle J.C. Latham. So that's what the show is going to be today, because Easton believes J.C. Latham is being unfairly victimized, villainized by this Titans internet mob out there. So we're gonna have Easton prove it. And we're going to see where we are all at with J.C. Latham. We'll talk about where he lands on the Titans' long list of problems. Do they have 99 of them? Probably. Like, there's a chance we could probably, if we had the time, to sit here and list up to 99 problems with this Titans organization. I think we have a shot to get in there. I don't know about you, but
We could. It wouldn't. It would not even take very long. I don't think.
You don't think so? So you say you want to try it?
I think if you gave us 20 minutes, we could name 99 problems.
Okay, man, we'll see what happens. We've got throwing shade, so we've got other things out there, and I will talk about my Twitter street battle that I had over the weekend for my shade. So, Easton, what's up? Welcome in. Let's get this thing off and rolling here on a Tuesday morning.
Yeah, good morning, Austin. Good morning to everybody in the chat. Hope everyone's having a great start to their Tuesday morning. Looking forward to talking about the villain of the week, J.C. Latham. I think that we have completely lost our marbles on this, or at least by we, I mean X.com, Twitter. So we'll talk about what's going on there, why maybe offensive line evaluation is really tricky and tends to lean into groupthink more than it does into reality, because unless you have an NFL Pro subscription or subscribe to the right newsletter with a secret link and you have the game tape and you're a big enough nerd to grind offensive line game tape and you're a big enough nerd to know what you're looking at, unless you fit all those boxes.
And you have the time to do that while you're
add that on there. Who has time for all that, right?
Job you've got, yeah.
Exactly. Unless you're doing all that, it's hard. It's hard to I raise my hand, like, even as somebody that does watch the tape, I sometimes don't know what I'm looking at, and I lean on people smarter than me, and I've certainly leaned on people smarter than me on the conversation that we're about to have. But brother, we've lost our gourds on this, so we'll talk about all of that, and I've got some fun things to share and show and tell. I wish you said Easton's going to prove it. I might could prove it if YouTube allowed us to play game tape, but
if the NFL allowed us to play.
Great point. If the National Football League wasn't such a loser when it comes to tape and monetization online, then we could have a real nerdy little session this morning. But unfortunately, we can't. So we're going to have to talk about some plays. I might send a Twitter link or two if you are wanting to kind of watch along with us. But other than that, we're going to have to kind of talk about it apropos, which is fine. You got to like the show this morning. That is number one. Hit that like button on Facebook or on YouTube. It is extremely helpful to us. It is the way that you can be a friend this morning, hitting that like button, then jumping into the comments when you hear your thoughts on J.C. Latham, on the Titans' problems, whatever else may happen to be on your mind this morning. Go, jump into the comments and let us hear it after you have liked the show. And now, Austin, we can get it started.
Yeah, so officially, welcome to AtoZ Sports here live on a Tuesday. I'm Austin Stanley. He's Easton Freeze, our Titan reporter for AtoZSports.com. We're Nashville's on-demand sports network, going live weekday mornings at 8:10 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. You can hit us up there at AtoZ Sports. Also on Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, all the places to follow our Titans content. Also, follow us on Google, and I just dropped that link into there. So you can follow us on Google, and if you're on Facebook in the chat and the link doesn't work for you on Facebook mobile, like Jeff told us it isn't, you can open up any article on AtoZSports.com. There's a follow us on Google button. You click that, and then that does it as well. So you can read Easton's thoughts on certain things, and what we've got a lot of Lane Kiffin content out there. A lot of college football draft content is booming at AtoZSports.com these days. So I saw there's a 3-round mock draft out this morning as well. So a lot of great stuff there, but do have to thank our sponsors. They make it happen for us, and they help out all of you. Wilson County Hyundai online, wilsoncountyhyundai.com. Save some money on your ride in Lebanon. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Barton Drury Insurance Group, customized solutions for all of your insurance needs are local and online at bartondrury.com. Botero Carts, life is short. Buy yourself a golf cart. 2 locations, Columbia and Gallatin. And Window Nation, 50% off all window styles through the end of the year. And you can get up to 5 years of 0% financing with windownation.com with a free estimate there. So, Easton, I went full out on fire Mike McCoy again. I've done this now like 3 times.
How dare you?
So that was my yesterday. Your yesterday was battling people on Twitter about the J.C. Latham narrative and the storyline of the Titans' second-year tackle, 7th overall draft pick in the 24 draft, played left tackle as a rookie. Titans signed Dan Moore to an $82 million contract to play left. JC moves back to the right where he played in college and became a top 10 draft prospect at Alabama. And then it was off to a good start, lost a lot of weight in the offseason, was looking phenomenal. Had a hip injury in training camp, left week 1's game in the 3rd quarter, I believe it was, maybe early 4th, against the Broncos with that hip injury again, then went and missed the next 4 games. And he's been back. And so he's had some bad moments, but he's also had some moments of being unnoticeable, which is what you want. So, Easton, I'll let you kind of take it away. Overall, what do you lay the foundation for this J.C. Latham defense that you're going to be on today?
So, a couple of housekeeping comments. First of all, King VC says, lock in and like the show with the super chat. 100%. Do that, please. And hello and thank you to King VC. We always appreciate you. Malachi says, they don't let y'all share clips anymore. I thought you were able to last year. We were able to get away with it more last year, and they wouldn't demonetize us. But the NFL...
we were able to do that like 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's just like in the past couple of months that they have really cracked down on it, and it sucks. And Garrett says, how do Tyler Rowland and the MCA boys get around the film breakdowns? They don't get around it. They just eat the loss. They just do the video and make no money on it, which is love of the game. You know, that's like the way I get around it is by writing about it and posting. I'll post clips and stuff on Twitter where they can't demonetize me, or I guess they can, but they don't because they don't care enough, I guess. And
then you put it in an article where people click on, and
that's right, which I will be doing with this is the reason.
And that's where you should read our stuff because that's where we make our money.
That's right. And that's not what this show is. This is a debate morning show, not really a film grinder. Let's do 60 minutes. That's the thing. You either have to go all in or all out. Like I've talked to them about it, and they're like, if we really want to do it, we'll do 60 minutes of it. Which, you know what? If you're going to do it, make it count. Austin would kill me if I tried to do 60 minutes of film breakdown on the morning show on a Tuesday. So we do that in articles instead. But the JC Latham,
I would not be here for that.
Right? He'd just be like, all right, that's a third string Thursday show. All right.
I do love film. Don't get me wrong.
It's a good time. It's just not what this show is. Not what this show is. Yes. So, J.C. Latham has played 8 games now, and I don't know if that counts the first week or not.
Yes, it would.
It does. Okay, so he's played 8 games, including the kind of halfy game that he played in Denver. And to your point, Austin, I am not here this morning to say that J.C. Latham has actually been some incredible success story this season, and all of you morons don't see it. Not what I'm here to do. What I am here to do is say that there are, and these are friends of mine, so I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I'm gonna call people out because I've talked to them about this, and they know that I disagree with them on this. And I'm not saying that they're idiots on this. We just disagree. So the Justins on the MCA podcast, Justin Mello and Justin Graver, they have been kind of going to bat on why is J.C. Latham not playing better online. And I've talked to them about this, and we see it differently. And Drew Beatty, who Iron City Film, who I had on the Primetime show, a good friend of mine, who I respect a lot, he has kind of always been, he was never high on J.C. Latham as a draft prospect, always thought he would be better as a guard in the NFL, and continues to point out these problems. And he's kind of put himself at the center of the J.C. Latham firestorm because 2 weeks ago he put out a film cut up that he was pointing to some plays and saying, here's what I disagree with people thinking that think this is bad. Here are the issues, and we'll talk about what those issues are that he's calling out here in a second. But then it got picked up by some national folks, and he kind of got taken behind the woodshed on those clips, and there was a lot of disagreement. And then this week he posted the bad JC Latham clip, and I say the because it's really the only one, and I've talked to him about this from this past week. Where JC Latham is completely on a different page than the rest of the offensive line and allows the rusher, who I forget who it actually was, but whoever the edge was, spikes inside and basically tiptoes.
Pretty sure it was Hines Allen.
Waltzes past JC Latham untouched to tackle Tajay Spears on a handoff in the backfield for a super duper easy tackle for a loss. And it looks like this guy's lost out there. He literally can't play football. Like, what's going on? And he posted that and said that the Titans have a JC Latham problem, which is a drum he's been beating. Now, this has all led to a couple of these viral tweets, people being like, JC Latham, this guy stinks. Look at the bad plays of JC Latham. And it has led to an internet firestorm that I have kind of not secretly, but like quietly been annoyed by for the past couple of weeks, because I disagree with this idea that JC Latham has been some big problem for the Titans. And yesterday I lost it because I saw so much nonsense, Austin. And before we ask the question, because I think the question we're about to ask is liable to spawn some of these comments, let's just show some of the comments that I saw last night on Twitter and maybe get them out of the way. Because if this is something if these are the kinds of things you're about to jump into the comments to say, let it be known on the front end, I'm going to make fun of you. Because here's what yesterday on Twitter in my mentions looked like. And let's read some of these. The JC Latham sucks.
These are all your mentions for the most part, right?
They are either all my mentions or in the mentions of the couple of tweets that I just talked about from Drew and the Justins. The JC Latham suck is out of control. We don't have a right tackle. He's a fat, unathletic, and consistently lacks effort. The sample size is more than big enough at this point. It's maddening, which is crazy because he's 23, 22 games into his NFL career. Latham looks more like a project third rounder than a top 10 drafted offensive tackle. Why does he look so timid, slow, and unsure of his technique and ability? You would never believe he was a top 10 pick, let alone a first rounder. He played lazy at Alabama, nothing new. I don't want the Titans to draft another lineman from Georgia or Bama ever again. LMAO, wow, I knew he'd been bad, but holy crap, get Cam some help. IMG and Bama produced this. This is Dennis Daly levels of bad on this rep, just horrific. Feels like every other play, the guy has turned completely around, just spectating Cam running for his life. I never tweeted athletes, which is hilarious, but give the guy some help at JC Latham. So I never tweeted athletes, but we're going to tweet it in this time. Absolutely horrendous. I can't even see him playing guard at this point. Another terrible first-round selection in a long list of terrible first-round selections. I don't see how this guy is a starter. Slow, can't move his feet, etc. The Titans drafted a bad offensive lineman. Shocker. Laziest feet in the league. Another Anthony Bradford. Is that you? Which is crazy. He's like the worst lineman in the league.
I've never heard of Anthony Bradford.
He's Seattle's left guard, and he has been the laughingstock of the league all season long.
Really?
Look at JC Latham's sorry ass. He stinks this year. The tape don't lie. At JC Latham, your dog bleep. And then this is my favorite one. This is exactly why a team should never use a top 20 pick on an offensive lineman. It's nearly impossible to evaluate offensive line in college. Top 10 picks should only ever be used for key skill positions: quarterback, wide receiver, linebacker, and cornerback. Crazy. I mean, Buckeye 5. What's going on here?
Buckeye 5. That guy said linebacker because of Reese, right?
I suppose so, but
it has to
just there's like 7 things wrong with that tweet. That was my favorite one that I found, and I actually liked that one. But
I hope linebacker means edge. You know?
I would hope so too. But that notwithstanding, the idea that you should never use a top 20 pick on an offensive lineman. When
crazy.
Every good tackle in the league is basically a top 20 pick, like 100% of them practically, is an interesting choice. This guy just wants third round project tackles. He thinks that's good. You know, a lot of NPFs and Dylan Radins is, and you're good to go, I suppose. So this is not all of it. And if you are on this board, I'm sorry that you got sniped by my Twitter screenshots last night. These people are far from the only ones leaning into what I think is complete and utter
BS.
Mob mentality BS. Yes, yeah. It is. I think it is a result of the fact that offensive line play is really freaking hard to evaluate. We all kind of hear what one or two or three people we consider to be experts say loudly, and then we roll with that. And if we see a clip or two that makes the guy look bad, well, then we're happy to make that be the representative of their play overall. Like that, I guess that's just the way that he looked all day long. It can't possibly be a clip taken out of the context of 60 snaps that a guy played in the day. So I have more to say, but I'm sure you have something to chime in with here, Austin. Well, and we do have a question to get to.
Yeah, we have a question, and I one thing that just made me chuckle was Bork saying, "Oh, look, it's Easton smiling ass Freeze." He's coming here cheesing.
I hate how happy this guy is. I wish he was more angry.
Yes.
Okay.
So look, John says JC is not good. Cap says I remember being at Nissan Stadium draft party when the Titans drafted Latham and boos were raining down. Fans wanted alt neighbors who were both before the Titans.
Yeah, gone and gone. Nice.
And then Roma Dunze, who went 2 picks after, or Brock Bowers, who went like 5 or 6 picks after the Titans got Latham. And I was on the, in that back in history, Titans draft history, I was on the, you need good football players, and Brock Bowers is a bona fide stud who's not going to bust. That was my opinion.
Right.
But he's a tight end. I didn't get that. And I liked Roma Dunze quite a bit. But the JC Latham pick, I understood at the time the process behind that with Bill Callahan and what they wanted to do and everything. And I don't think JC's a bad player. So let's just go ahead and ask the question.
Well, and opposite the point of that one tweet, if you don't draft tackles in the top 20, you don't get good tackles. It's one of the only black and white things about the draft, pretty much. Like, there's not a whole lot that's black and white about the draft besides you want your quarterbacks in the first round, and brother, you want your tackles in the first round. And brother, you want your edge rushers in the first round. It's kind of those three. It's those 3 positions. It's like you either get them here or you don't get them.
For the most part, for sure. So let's go ahead and ask the question here because we've got a lot of things to unpack. How do you grade JC Latham's second Titan season? Just how do you grade it? We're going to go, normally we grade quarterbacks. I understand we are doing a very tough thing of grading an offensive lineman's play without any ability to use film or to have an understanding of what box score is for this type of position. So we're just going to go off of our guts, our vibes, our understanding of the situation. What grade would you give Titans second-year right tackle, well, first-year right tackle, second-year lineman, JC Latham to this point of the Titans season? We'll get to your comments here shortly, but Easton, please tell us all about our great friends at the Bone and Joint Institute.
The Bone and Joint Institute. They are the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedics and sports medicine. As I get off of our game day setup here and get on to our morning show setup. They are located just off of I-65 in Franklin, in my neck of the woods. They have everything in their building under one roof. They're not going to send you running around to a bunch of different referrals. If you need help with any kind of injury in life, they are your go-to because they have their clinic, their testing, their surgery, their imaging, their rehab. It's all in one place. It's a state-of-the-art rehab facility on their campus that's going to help you recover, again, through any type of injury. Schedule an appointment today at boneandjointtn.org.
Also, BTA Sports, hey, Easton. Guess what? We talked about it yesterday. BTA Sports coming 2026, Major League Baseball. And so if you sign up with our code ATOZSports, you're going to get a 14-day free trial for BTA Sports for the rest of this NFL season, throughout the playoffs and beyond, all the way through Valentine's Day, which is a very key date right now in the Super Bowl, or with the Super Bowl going on there. But you also get grandfathered into the Major League Baseball season because ATOZ Sports gives you a 12-month subscription for just $79. That's a crazy good deal. The weekly subscription is just $9.99. So if you just do the math on your hands and on your fingers, you have 5 more weeks of the NFL season plus 4 weeks of playoffs. That's 9. That's a pretty good deal. You should do the AtoZSports $79 deal right there with that link, because you're going to get all the next 12 months for next NFL season, for Major League Baseball as well. BTA Sports, better for bettors. Download the app today with that code AtoZSports, a 14-day free trial, then $79 for the next 12-month subscription to make you a better sports bettor with the NFL and Major League Baseball coming up in next season. So I'll let you get to the chat here, Easton. We asked people to do a very difficult thing, grading J.C. Latham through this season so far. What are you seeing from the chat on these grades here, Easton?
Let's see. Well, Malachi says, aren't the Eagles tackles all late-round picks? No, Jordan Mailata was a 7th-round pick, and he is the exception of all exceptions. He was an international player with a rugby career who just happened to hit. It's the lottery pick of all lottery picks. Lane Johnson was the 4th overall pick, I believe. He was a top 5 pick.
Lane Johnson was a very high pick,
yeah. Jason says a C, a D-, a C-. Jack with not a letter grade answer, but a thought answer. 2 things can be true. We overdrafted Latham, and he's a guard if we have the opportunity to draft an A-tier tackle. I disagree, but fair enough. He also is not a bad player, and he's an average player just being left on an island. There is some truth to that.
Can we pause on that one?
Sure.
So pull back up.
Here we go.
Okay. So the guard thing.
Describe Jack Longley. Hello.
Yes, the guard thing. We've talked about this somewhat recently.
I hate this.
I know you do. But it's kind of the elephant in the room to address. Not an Alabama pun at all with J.C. Latham, but could he be a very good guard? Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But he's more valuable at tackle.
So could the vast majority of tackles in the league. Like this is the lazy buzzword of choice, in my opinion, when folks think a tackle is just not good enough. It's like, well, just play him at guard.
Okay. So there's a difference in no offense to Jack or fans, a fan saying that, and somebody like Ramon Foster saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because Ramon Foster, we talked about this, who's on 104.5 The Zone. He is
There's a difference between me saying it and Ramon Foster saying it.
100%.
Again, I don't want to make it sound like I have some kind of offensive line expertise here today. I might have more of an offensive line expertise than the average fan. I do. But I lean on people that are O-line experts more than I lean on anybody in any other element to this job. I'm painfully aware of the fact that offensive line is really freaking hard to understand unless it's your job.
So with Ramon, who is a college left tackle or right tackle, I can't remember which side, at Tennessee, went undrafted and became a guard because he could not move enough to play tackle in the NFL. Immediately thought in the draft process, after the Titans drafted J.C. Latham, thought he would be best served at guard. That is a fair opinion from Ramon Foster, who lived that life for 11 years. And that might be... and
it's not untrue, but it's not the point. That's what frustrates me. That's not the point. You're right, but who cares? Who cares? That's not the point.
I think...
How many tackles in the league when they came out wouldn't be technically better served at guard?
Yeah, but it's like this guy. That's not the analysis.
My point is, the question isn't, would this guy be better served at guard?
Right.
Because the answer is almost always yes. The question is, but can he play tackle? That's the question we're trying to answer.
I think, and Ramon's point, without putting words in his mouth, is J.C. Latham should probably be a guard.
And there are plenty of smart folks that thought that coming out and or think that now. I'm not saying that it's a completely unfair thing to think, because again, I wish we were phrasing it differently, right? Because when we say he'd be better as a guard, okay, cool. Don't care. The question is, can he play tackle? And what folks like Ramon, I think, are saying when they say that now or said that then, is that I don't think he can play tackle.
Yeah.
In other words, he needs to be a guard, not he would be better served as a guard.
Needs to be, should
now
be. Needs, should
right.
be, yes.
But I wish that was the conversation we're having, because whenever you try to talk about J.C. Latham online, people would be like, well, he would be better as a guard. You can't dispute that. Yeah, but it's not the point. The point is we need 70 starting we need 64 starting caliber tackles in the league at any given point. Like, we need it. There aren't ever that many. So the scarcity is off the charts, and a lot of teams are making do with guys that maybe can't quite technically play tackle. Like, maybe they're not quite tall enough to ride the ride, whatever you want to like make that bar to be. But it's like, it's kind of tough sledding with some of these guys.
Right,
and so whenever you have a guy that is, when God built them the way that they are, and they have the size and or the strength and or the movement ability to get away with playing tackle, because it's the number of true tackles walking this planet is like, I don't know, 25? Like, it's less than one per team. Guys that are truly like, this guy is a bona fide tackle. You don't like, who cares about playing guard? This guy's built to play tackle.
Yeah.
There aren't many.
College teams struggle to find tackles these days. So, because somebody else said that it's been, I think it was Bork earlier, that was talking about how difficult it is to develop offensive linemen because colleges, it's a whole trickle up situation. It is a bad spot.
Freaking
right?
Middle schools, what we're talking about.
But no, it is a trickle up problem. And we'll get back on topic here. We'll get to more of the grades for.
My point is, like, starting at age 13, we're siphoning the kids away from the offensive line. Like, it starts
put them on D line.
It starts at the bottom.
No, I know, but then also it's like, there's like, what? Look at what just happened in college football on Sunday. Like, how many coaches have been fired in college football this year? And guess what? It's just going to get crazier. Why? Because there's 9 conference games in the SEC next year, which means it's going to be even harder to win, which means more coaches are going to get fired for not meeting quote unquote expectations that should probably be adjusted. But guess what? Donors and boosters and admins and fan bases are going to be so slow to adjust their expectations for what a successful college season is, where 8-4 is not a bad thing. Sometimes that happens. You can lose a game that you shouldn't be losing because it happens. It should be more like the NFL in college, but these coaches have to win now or their neck is canned. And so what are they going to do? Not worry about developing players for the NFL anymore. That is a way to get fired as a college football coach in today's world. It used to be a way to recruit in college. Now it's not. You can't take time to develop guys for the league. That cannot be a sales pitch for you. It's that you can, the sales pitch now and for college is, we are going to put up numbers. You are going to be on a big stage. You will be scouted heavily. And then it's up to you for how you perform in the NFL.
The sales pitch is, here's how much money we can make you.
Yes. And so that's the problem with the offensive line is there's no pace for development overall because coaches got to win now or they're going to get fired. They don't have time for you. So anyway, now grading JC Latham.
Back to the
grades. You want to go back to the grades from the chat?
I still have them. Let's give that its fair due here. Jeffrey says a D-, Kendall a C-, D-, F. Like, again, when we say F, when we say the guy looks like NPF out there, looks like Dennis Daly out there, based on what? Based on a clip you saw on Twitter? Based on the PFF grade you pulled up? Like, what are we basing that opinion on? I'm highly skeptical of anybody that thinks he looks like he can't play. Because even his biggest detractors, smart people that are, like even Drew, who's been beating this drum for weeks now, he doesn't give him an F. He said last night on Twitter that people have lost their minds when they were comparing this. Like, the guy had two bad snaps out of 59 this past Sunday. And everybody thinks it was the JC Latham performance that, like, it was terrorism against the Tennessee Titans. And I don't know where this is coming from.
Here's the problem. Is that the game before he had how many false starts? 3?
Was that the game before or 2 games before? I think it was a couple games ago.
2 games ago? Yeah, it was the Texans game. So 2 games ago, he has 3 false starts. Then he's quiet for a game, and then he has 2 loud bad plays. Right.
And this is the point, is that his mistakes are largely mental right now. In that clip that got passed around a bunch yesterday where he just whiffs and Jahjai Spears gets killed. That's it. Like, he takes the wrong footwork. He's on the wrong page mentally for the play. It's not that he's so unathletic, so dumb, so lazy, so fat, whatever, that he gets blown by. No, he had the wrong thing in his head, which is not that's still a bad thing. But
Yes,
there's a
yeah,
big
that's
difference
good.
between guy can't do it and guy messed it up, right? He's
Guess
making
what?
mental
He also
mistakes.
has 2 offensive line coaches right now that are not the original offensive line
I
coach.
was about to say he's somebody that my understanding from an internal standpoint is that he's the kind of guy that like maybe has suffered more or maybe the most from the turmoil this franchise has been in. Like that I think there's an element of victimhood here, to be honest with you. But he's a big boy, 7th overall pick, and the expectations are high. His mistakes are loud, they're clippable, they're easy to take out of context. His shortcomings right now that I'll acknowledge are the kind of frustrating shortcomings that you feel like are maybe indicative of his play more largely, such as like not having. I don't think he has the biggest mean streak in the world right now. I don't think that he is somebody that is a great finisher. I'm not sure he has the greatest effort to the whistle. Like these are all things that I think are fair criticism of him. And then like the thing that he had coming out that was his nuclear button, like the thing that you could hang your hat on with JC Latham, regardless of whatever else is going on in his life, is that this guy has an impenetrable nuclear reinforced anchor. Like you just can't go through the guy. And this year, that's not quite been the case because of the hip. Like it's because of the hip injury and him getting behind the 8 ball physically from an injury standpoint and physically from a conditioning standpoint from sitting on his butt for a month at the beginning of the year. And so it's especially resetting his anchor as he passes guys off and tries to maintain the pocket. Whenever he has to reset, he has struggled to not get on his heels, and guys have been able to go through him too much. And that's a fair criticism. But is that happening all game long? No. Again, he played 59 snaps, and he got beat, like actually beat twice. One was a mental error that you saw on Twitter, and the other was a very, very slow pressure because Cam held the ball forever, and you could argue it's really not even a loss on his part.
Daniel says Latham gave him 0 pressure, 0 sacks against Will Anderson and Dino Hunter. He can play that, and unfortunately, that was the same game as the 3 false starts because, right. And that's what we talked about immediately after. Is that once the ball was snapped, JC Latham was very good against the Texans, which is the most difficult defense that he had to face in the league today, and he's been on the list.
But then his detractors say, okay, forget the false starts and forget those stats too, because guess what? When you actually get through the tape and you look at when you chart it all, he was getting so much help. I mean, they were chipping and doubling, which I think is, again, I think that's reaching. Like when Drew says that, when the Justins say that, I respectfully disagree. I think that is reaching to find a reason to villainize JC Latham, because when I go through it and chart it, when me and my tape nerd buddies went through it and looked at it 2 weeks ago, we counted something like 14 instances of some kind of help, whether it be from an offensive lineman or a tight end or a running back chipping, on 35, 36 some odd pass block snaps. So I wouldn't consider that a ton of help.
They're playing the freaking Texans. You should do that.
You took the words out of my mouth. This is my point.
Smart.
They didn't just do that for JC Latham. They did it for Dan Moore. They did it. They gave the front help everywhere on the edge because you're playing the nastiest duo of edge rushers in the league. That's happening for every team every week that plays the Texans.
Yeah.
How recently, Austin, have we been screaming with past nightmare tackles on this team? Like, God, can they just give him help? Just give him help every play. Right. I mean, holy. And now they're giving the guys the adequate help, the help required for him to end the game with 0 pressures and 0 sacks. And we're mad about that?
Yeah.
We've lost our minds.
I know. It's like what do you want? I feel like what do you want? Like, I don't know what you want. Like,
and guess what he didn't get last week, by the way, against the Jaguars, where I think technically they gave him one. I don't know what you call that one play where he kills Spears. It's not a sack, but it's a giant tackle for a loss, I suppose. I think he was credited with 1 pressure. I don't know if they gave him 1 sack or not. But a lot of his sacks, like charting on PFF this year, a lot of those sacks, when you go sack by sack, it's like, is that a JC Latham problem, or is that a Kevin Zeitler problem, or is that a Cam Ward problem? It's kind of all of them. Like, there are very few sacks he's given up this year. I think they've credited him with 8. Very few of them are like, man, JC himself, by himself, just screwed this thing up, man.
Yeah, and that's the entire problem with the Titans offense is that at any point in time, at any snap on any game, one guy can royally screw up and blows up the entire play, which could also end a drive or end a game. Like, seriously. Like, it's the margin of error for the Tennessee Titans offense is non-existent. Non-existent.
And people just put their heads like that. Caesar, you're sticking your head in the sand on this, man. Like that, you sound ridiculous. Everyone needs a friend like Easton. That part I agree with. Nobody defends bullshit the way he does. That part I disagree with. He had to move. Talking about JC Latham, he had to move to right tackle, and we had to overpay an average tackle because he couldn't cut it. He sucks the end.
That's just
you don't
not right.
know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about. Everything about this, besides the first part, I agree on that part. Everything about it's wrong.
Curtis says Caesar has a point. Can't lie. No,
you're wrong.
He's wrong.
You're wrong.
Actually incorrect.
He didn't have to move to right tackle. They moved him to right tackle because the best tackle on the market happened to be a left tackle only. And they felt JC Latham was movable enough back to the position he played in college to make it make sense for them to bring in the best tackle. Like, I can tell you for a fact, this is not speculation, this is not an educated guess. I know the Titans went into free agency saying, we're going to find the best tackle we can find. We don't care what position he plays. We want the guy that plays the best at the tackle position on either side of the ball. And they felt that was JC Latham. The market dictated, by the way, that by far that was JC Latham because nobody else was getting bid on like JC Latham was. And if you think the Titans went out and gave Dan Moore, if you think the Titans went out and gave Dan Moore $30 million more than the next best team, you got another thing coming, dude, because you sound like a moron. They gave Dan Moore just enough to make him come to Nashville and not to go to New England or Kansas City, who were also bidding on him to come to play for them. So they gave him what the market dictated that he deserved, which was way more than any other tackle on the market. He's come here, and he has been, by the way, what we thought he was going to be. Serviceable, fine, and underwhelming in the big spots. Like there was never more of a sales pitch on Dan Moore than that. So he came, he's the left tackle, JC's the right tackle, and he sucks the end, Caesar says. Based on what? Based on what? Last week, he had no help basically the entire game. Like, you're talking about chip help against the Jaguars. They put him on the island basically the whole game. And again, he had 2 bad snaps out of 60 on the day, and one of them was a mental error. The other one was just a very slow. I mean, how often do we talk about offensive linemen? Sometimes you just got to lose slowly. He lost slowly on what was technically a pressure. That was his whole day. And so you talked yesterday or on Sunday, Austin, you were talking about, I forget the context of it, but you were talking about how sometimes you hate that in this business, you get put in a position to defend something you don't necessarily want to defend. Because it's like, you're here. And I was this way with Will Levis, by the way, in the draft process. It was
the post-game show. I was so freaking mad. Fuming mad that it made Easton look extremely happy. Right?
Yeah.
He wasn't happy. He didn't have a fun time watching that game. He was not laughing at Titans fans for losing 25-3. He was just balancing out my level of pissed. And I feel like the same thing here. You're not trying to say JC Latham deserves a contract extension to be the 10-year, decade-long right tackle. You're just saying
through 8 games, he has been very fine. Which is he is slightly underwhelming what I was hoping he would be.
He
has been a totally league average tackle.
Caesar has just walked into the knife that I was going to stab in his back, Brute. All right. So I'm going to get to my grade on JC Latham and what I truly think we can have an optimistic thought and viewpoint on JC Latham moving forward. But first, Easton, tell us about Botero carts.
Botero carts. Life is short. My life is shorter because of today's conversation. And that means I need to go and get a golf cart from our friends at Botero Carts. They have 2 locations to serve you in the Middle Tennessee area, in Columbia, Tennessee, and in Gallatin, Tennessee. So wherever you are, head to the nearest dealership. They are locally owned and operated to support a local business, a full service sales and rental business, by the way. Tip to tail, they got you covered at Botero Carts. 0% financing for 36 months is what they're offering on their carts, starting at just under $6,800. They're open every day of the week, and they have no dealer fees, no credit card fees. There's even a no credit needed option if that's something that you're interested in. There's no reason not to go and get your golf cart from Botero Carts today. Would make a pretty sick Christmas gift, by the way. Now's the time. Go check them out, Botero Carts.
Also, told you guys earlier, BTA Sports, Major League Baseball coming to the platform next season. So pumped about that. It's a big deal for them. Big deal for you is you can get Major League Baseball lumped into your 12-month deal where you sign up with code AtoZSports after clicking the link on our Facebook title, the YouTube description, and use that code AtoZSports, a 14-day free trial, then a $79 12-month subscription. That means you get the rest of the NFL season plus the playoffs and beyond, all of Major League Baseball next year, and the NFL up to December 2nd. That's pretty damn good for $79.
Kind of a peek behind the curtain. People have asked me about BTA Sports and like, should I get the annual pass? And if I'm being honest with them, not putting my A to Z salesman hat on, I was like, I don't know if I get the annual pass, because what are you getting from them from January to August? You know, like I love BTA Sports, but they aren't offering anything. Well, guess what? Now they're offering a whole season's worth.
When we talked to them in August, they were like, yeah, we're trying to figure out what that next thing is. And
they knew that. And so they have plugged the gap perfectly with, I mean, the plenty of games to bet on in the MLB.
They're not done adding.
There are other sports to add.
Oh, absolutely. All right. So BTA Sports, better for bettors. Okay. So, Caesar, who just is continuously walking himself into the knife that I have, and shout out to the people who loved my E2 Brute drop on that one. So Caesar in this comment has really gotten under Easton's skin quite a bit, saying how Easton looks foolish. And so then he says, notice how we're not talking about Peter Skoronski, with a beautiful spelling of Skoronski.
It's close enough.
We're not talking about Peter Skoronski because Peter Skoronski is in year 3, which something that I'm really starting to subscribe to is the offensive linemen really take that big turn into year 3. And that is exactly what Peter Skoronski has done.
Especially if a big part of year 1 or year 2 was marred by some kind of medical issue.
You're scooping
by the
me.
way.
You're scooping
by
me.
the way.
You're scooping
me earlier. This is tit for tat.
What? I'll just ask you. Fill in the gap. So what did Peter Skoronski and J.C. Latham have in common? J.C. Latham's second season, Peter Skoronski's rookie season. What happened before week 2?
They missed a critical early month of the season.
Yes.
Due to medical issues.
Yes. J.C. Latham hurt his hip, had to sit down and let that thing heal for a month. Mm-hmm. Peter Skoronski had an appendectomy. And what
medical
happens,
issues that negatively impacted their weight, by the way, in opposite directions. Peter Skoronski lost a bunch of weight. J.C. Latham put on some weight that he just lost, and neither needed that to happen to them.
Yes. And when you can't, like, I don't know if guys know anybody who's had an appendectomy in your life, but you cannot do anything for 2 weeks minimum. And that's just a normal person. Like, they will not let you drive a vehicle for 2 weeks, doctor's orders, after having an appendectomy.
Yeah, now try to get into car crashes on purpose.
Yeah, now try to go like fire off the line of scrimmage on 3rd and 1 against a 320-pound defensive tackle who's bearing down on your core. They just got cut open to take your exploding appendix out.
A guy that's literally going to punch you in the stomach at some point today.
Yeah, who knows you had an appendectomy. He's like, I know exactly where to hit that. And so also, yeah, J.C. Latham's hip is a problem. J.C. Latham's hip is not a battle. It's the same thing as we talked about with DK's chest contusion. Chest contusions are a battle through the pain tolerance. J.C. Latham's hip is not that. It's my hip won't let me do this. Mm-hmm. Like, there is a problem with my hip where I cannot physically do this. So I think we have to be patient with J.C. Latham, understanding that he's missed a month of the season at the worst possible time with a hip injury that took him off the field, out of the weight room, and just had him have to let it heal, man.
I agree with all of that. I don't even think this is how cut and dry I think this is. I don't even think we need to mention the hip anymore. Like, it is absolutely, if we're being thorough, a big part of the thing this year. But at this point, and who am I can't possibly say how much on this past Sunday his hip issue was still impacting him. When I watch the tape, I don't see a whole lot of that, to be honest with you. But it has impacted his stats this year.
It's the compounding situation of when it happened. Like, if he hurt the Titans would have been way better off if J.C. Latham hurt his hip the first week of training camp.
Of course. I'm not trying to discredit your point. I agree with your point wholeheartedly. My point is, I think we can, even if we're trying to be as skeptical of J.C. Latham as possible, okay, then let's just remove the hip thing altogether. Let's just look at him and forget the hip thing may even be a factor, and look at the level of play right now. He's been fine. And I think this is a classic. We already talked about how I think it's a classic instance of people frankly, not knowing what they're talking about because it's hard to evaluate offensive linemen. I think it's also a classic instance of expectations versus reality, right? Because he was a 7th overall pick, and because it is year 2, and there's plenty of reasons to just generally be edgy and short on patience with this team. And because the guy that is his contemporary in that draft, who isn't playing anymore, but when he was playing, Joe Alt, before he got hurt and out for the year, was playing very, very well. And you've also got guys like Olufashinu up in New York, who's playing well now as well. It's like, okay, well, what's J.C. Latham doing, right? So it's also comparison being the thief of joy a little bit. Mm-hmm. I think our expectations were that he'd take a leap this year. And I do think that like the hip element and the coaching element and maybe where he's at mentally and in his life, all of those things are like an underrated element of where he's at in terms of taking a leap. But the fact that he hasn't taken some big leap because of all of these things, whatever it is, that's led us to think, well, if he hasn't taken a leap, then he stinks. And that's just not the reality. He has been fine.
Yeah.
He has been, to me, he has been mildly underwhelming, and I'm hoping that he can make up for that in the final 5 weeks of the year and finish strong. But so far, he's been a fine, clearly NFL caliber starting tackle. You've lost your mind if you think he's anywhere near the conversation of Dennis Daly or Andre Dillard or MPF. Not playing the same sport, man. You're crazy. You're crazy.
Rob, super.
But he also can be a lot better than he is. He can.
Yeah. Room to grow. Latham is basically a rookie right tackle that got hurt early in the season. He frustrates me as a rookie does. He'll be fine long term. Like, yeah, there are frustrating moments.
And I don't even agree with that last part. Like, I don't want the takeaway from today to be like, well, if J.C. Latham doesn't pan out, then Easton was wrong. Again, not my point. He may never develop into what he needs to be. Like, if he stays as good as he is right now for the rest of his career, then he is a not disappointment relative to the expectations. He is. Yeah. You can be a starting caliber tackle and also be a disappointment in terms of your draft expectations. And he may never achieve that for whatever reason. But I just want us to be accurate about what we're talking about right now. Right now, we're talking about a guy that is average, and that's not good enough for what he needed to be in the draft. It's also not good enough for where this offensive line is. Here's one more element to this that really pisses me off, Austin, is that, in my opinion, he's been playing better than every offensive lineman on this team not named Peter Skoronski the past 3 weeks, month, whatever you want to call it, like recently. He has. Yeah. Now, the bar is low because
Zeitler's been not good.
Well, those other 3 guys have been below average or worse. And
those other 3 guys are your veterans.
That's my point. Is like, well, but they weren't 7th overall pick. Yeah, well, we're talking about a year 3 tackle dealing with
year 2.
Excuse me. Yes, a year 2 tackle, who is we're comparing him to a year 7, a year 6, and a year like 13, 15 for Kevin Zeitler. These are the guys that are supposed to have already gotten it by now.
Yeah.
So why is that bar so like? Why are they getting off scot-free? I don't understand, because he's been better than them. So relative to his responsibilities. My
grade for J.C. Latham is a C+. There's plenty. That's not good enough for the long term, like what you're saying. But I think, and these are not excuses. This is just the situation for J.C. Latham this year. So I think it's fair to understand that there can be some grace and understanding with this. Change positions, change head coaches, change play callers, change O-line, has the hardest strength of schedule in the league. Mm-hmm. And he got hurt. So all those things are very like it took a very hard semester, for J.C. Latham, and he got sick in the middle of it. So he's going to struggle some. Like it is what it is. But
when Josh Hines Allen is your easiest assignment in a span of like 2 months, which is accurate, right? I mean, like the last quote unquote easy assignment he had was in the air. Okay, so yeah, here we go. So this past week, Josh Hines Allen, the week before, not any one edge rusher that really scares you, but that front has been a top 3 front in the league in Seattle.
Seahawks.
The Texans are the best duo of edge rushers in the league, and it's not particularly close. The Chargers maybe is a slightly easier assignment since they are missing some key pieces, and like you're going up against Khalil Mack. The Colts are another easier. It's like the easiest assignments you're getting are teams that are still top half of the league in terms of their front. Like I think off the top of my head, the Colts are like dead league average, maybe just a hair below in terms of their edge rushers. So,
and he came back. His first game back from injury was against the Raiders, or a bad team, but had Max Crosby.
Right?
Yeah. So
the Rams, the Broncos, like they haven't gotten any cupcakes.
Yeah. So I say C+. What is your grade on J.C. Latham for the season at this point?
Oh, I don't know. It's a C+, B-, right in that range.
Okay. So again, I'm like, you're not out here carrying the flag for J.C. Latham Pro Bowl. You're not tweeting out J.C. Latham
he has been an
Pro
average
Bowl,
starting tackle, which is not good enough. But he's a year 2 guy that got hurt. Like that's the whole story. It's cut and dry, and he has a couple of loud, particularly frustrating mental errors. And I think it's the mental element of it that really pisses me off the most. Is that like this guy needs to get his head right. But I also think that there are some behind the scenes extenuating circumstances on that people don't quite understand.
Yeah, clearly this team's not in a good spot, right? They're 1-11.
Mm-hmm.
Bad teams make good players worse. Good teams make bad players better. This is a bad team. Jeffrey Simmons is maybe the only person immune to the Titans suck.
Perhaps.
Darren says they're 0-12 in my eyes.
Basically.
All right, let's go ahead and get. We do have one more kind of topic to get to.
Okay. Do we still want to do that?
I feel like we have to for sake of time.
Have to get to it?
Yeah. For we need to get to it for time, for our sponsors.
Oh,
we have Shade coming up. So let's just do, where does J.C. Latham rank in the Titans' biggest problems list? We don't need the other problems.
Mm-hmm.
And you can even say top 2, top 3, top 5, top 10 problems. Where does J.C. Latham rank in the Titans' biggest problem list? But first, I'm going to tell you guys about Barton Drury Insurance Group. Customized solutions for all of your insurance needs. BartonDrury.com. It is open enrollment season for us here at AtoZSports through Barton Drury Insurance Group. And they've got us covered here with our health coverage for our staff. They have our workers' comp policy, and whatever you're looking for out there in the world of insurance, they can help you out and be a great team on your team at your side, because insurance is complicated. It's overwhelming. It's frustrating. There's a lot of tiny fine print that we don't understand. That's where Barton Drury can help us out, and they can help us all out with that by doing the legwork for you and just presenting it to you and say, hey, all right, here are your options. Here's what my opinion on the options. Here's what your situation looks like. Here's what we can do. And Barton Drury can help you with that process, just like they have with AtoZSports, with my health coverage, with our workers' comp policy as a company, with a digital media company, with employees across many, many different states. It's a big deal over there for us to have them on our team right there. So BartonDrury.com is where to go.
We're also brought to you by BTA Sports. Check them out. BTA Sports, better for bettors. Use the link in the description below to get BTA Sports discounted and make money on the sports books. Steal blind from Vegas. Who doesn't love a little Robin Hood situation? That's what BTA is basically here to do, is to help the poor steal from the rich.
There you go. BTA Sports. I think I accidentally clicked the graphic off. All right. So
would they like to be associated with theft? I don't know.
I think that was
we're trying to rob them blind metaphorically.
Yes. So where does J.C. Latham rank in the Titans' biggest problems?
Right.
I like what I'm seeing here. For the
okay.
most part. Well, except for Brandon's. He says top 3 problem in Brandon's opinion.
Top 3. So that he can't name more than 2 things worse about this team right now than J.C. Latham. He gets to 2 of them and he's like, I guess then J.C. Latham.
He's like the owl. That's crazy. Trying to get to the center of the Tootsie Pop. 1, 2, J.C. Latham, baby.
That's right.
Caesar says top 10, closer to 10. So Caesar's been JC's biggest hater today and even thinks he is probably closer to 10. Okay. Luke, extremely low. Caps, not close to the biggest need. BRC, top 20. Rooney just says flat out at the bottom. Timeout. Right. Shout out Rooney, because Rooney said he was going to get gear at AtoZSports new merch store. Shop.AtoZSports.com. While I'm sitting here on it, let me just go ahead and paste the link to the shop in the chat, but it is shop.AtoZSportsNashville.com, AtoZSports.com, excuse me. Shop.AtoZSports.com is where to go for our new merch store. And the Cyber Monday deal, it's Tuesday, but it's still going on, is ATOZ20 for 20% off right there. And Rooney got himself some gear this morning before the show went live, is what he said.
Sweet.
So shop.AtoZSports.com for that one. All right, so more JC Latham rankings problem. D. Christoval says between, not even top 5 for Matthew. Christoval said between 3 and 4. Can't remember where that.
Between 3 and 4. So what? He's problem 3.5. What is it?
3 or 4.
Oh, I see. He's between the third or the fourth. I see.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My bad. That was dumb on my part. I was like, what?
So I'm seeing a lot of not top 10s, which is good. Like I like the fact
that's accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Was it Rooney who said that the bottom? I don't think he's at the bottom either. Like I think that guys like Pierce Skronsky and Jeffrey Simmons are at the bottom of the list of problems.
But those guys aren't on the list of problems.
I guess they're just not even problems. Fair enough, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know how to quantify. We'd have to sit here and really try to list them all out. But I certainly don't think he's a top 10 problem.
You just gave yourself homework.
There are 56 things I can list wrong with this organization.
I would love to see Jack's list of 56.
Careful, he might do it.
I know. That's what I'm talking about. I want to see it. Jack has been
apologies to whoever Jack's boss is today, because I'm not sure he's going to get a whole lot of work done.
Yeah. I see you, Jeff, and I will not read it. Easton, where is JC Latham on your list of ranking Titans problems?
Yeah, like I said, he's certainly not top 10. I'm not sure he's top 15. I'm not sure he's top 20. It would depend on how we're defining problems. Like, is it one person to a problem? A person has to be a problem. If that's the standard, and there's 22 starters,
we are talking about JC Latham individually, not the offensive line together.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like you could make an individual offensive line a problem. You can also make the offensive line as problem. So like if we're ranking the 22 starters as where they are in terms of problems for this team, off the top of my head, JC Latham is probably as somebody in the comments a moment ago said, he's not even a top 3 problem on the offensive line. So I don't know. Out of 22 starters, he's like the.
But then you also have
14th
head coach. You have play calling.
That's my point. Is like
scheme,
this is subjective. But my point is, he is not, of the 22 starters, he's not in. If we broke the starting team in half by more a problem and less a problem, he's on the less a problem side to me.
Yeah, for sure.
I think there are 11 starters that are more problematic to this team right now than JC Latham. I do.
Yeah, I think JC's probably between he's 16 or further back. He's not a top 15 problem for the organization.
Villain of the month.
Okay.
So it just is what it just got tired of people. I feel better after this show. I got tired of people.
I'm glad you feel
losing their minds on a guy that is playing fine. If you want him to be impressive, which I do, he's not being that right now, which is a bummer. But is he playing poorly? Not really. Not to my eye.
Garrett has a super chat. I don't understand it. He says,
Okay.
Let's get some additional sponsors in here. Give Wendy's a shout out. I don't know if you know how sponsors work, but that's not how that works.
I mean, I agree. Let's get more people paying us.
Unless you, Garrett, have a direct line to Wendy's marketing. Yeah, I'm down for that.
He's like, I am the head of Wendy's marketing. Okay, Garrett. Get our line.
Awesome. Sweet. Let's chat. Let's set up a meeting. But that's not exactly how sponsors work. All right. So we do have shade to get to. I have shade. And I'm excited about my shade. I'm very excited about my shade because it's going to create somewhat of a larger discussion. But first, let's get into throwing shade. If you have shade, let us see it in the chat. Throwing shade here. Guess what? No shade on Window Nation because that install process was so smooth. It was honestly great. Easton, I love the new windows. They are opening up the house more. There's no dividers in them. They have more window surface area, more light, more glass, less just nonsense. They're gorgeous. They really are. Every time I walk into our dining area, it's got the double window and the slider, or a nursery that's got the double window, and so I'm like, God, freaking huge window. It's crazy. It's the same size hole, but the window seems so much bigger. Window Nation, great process overall with your windows. You can get those checked out. Get a free estimate at windownation.com. They make it easy on you. You don't have to buy new windows, but have them come to your house. Let them show you what they've got and how they can improve your home in many different ways. windownation.com. It is time for Shade. Here we go. Hyundai, they can help you save some money on your new ride. WilsonCountyHyundai.com in Lebanon. For that new vehicle, the end of the year is a great time to buy a car. They've got models and makes to get off the lot by the end of the year. There you go. At WilsonCounty.com. All right, so shade time. Eric says shade on getting a Buck Rising tattoo and shade on.
Oh man, that is the great one is doing. He's doing great one things out here. I don't know. I commented on that on Twitter, and somebody was like, "Jealousy is an ugly shade on you, Easton." And I was like, "Let me be crystal clear. Please do not get my name permanently on your body."
My signature capacity. That is not legible to be my name. I think that was probably.
Let me make this so clear. I don't want me in any capacity on your body permanently. I'm not comfortable with that even a little bit. So please don't.
But I do think good move, subtle move by Buck is that signature was so not legibly Buck Rising that he has plausible deniability. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. Can you tell that says Buck Rising?
He should have done it just in print, in Comic Sans. Buck Rising.
Like a stamp. Luke says, shade on the Jags punter. Dude flopped after every punt. And then allegedly threatened to kill Julius Chestnut.
Which, by the way, another thing that kind of jumped the shark yesterday, everybody was like, a death threat? It's out of bounds. Like, let's. And then Liam Cohen, the head coach of the Jaguars, doing his Zoom yesterday, and he's like, I've heard that a million times, which, by the way, hilarious. You know he's telling the truth because on a hot mic, future Tennessee Titans head coach Robert Saleh explicitly threatened to kill Liam Cohen like 8 weeks ago. So he does hear this a lot. We heard somebody say it to him this season. The point of that story wasn't that like, oh, scandal, it's clutch our pearls at a death threat on the football field. No one is taking it seriously as a death threat. The point is that it's hilarious to hear a punter tell you that they're going to kill you. That's funny. And it's crazy talk coming from a punter. That's the point of the story.
Yeah.
You're a punter.
Ryan says, let's just gloss over Cam's comment. Last year, we made a huge deal of Levis's rewire his brain. We're not, Ryan. We are going to do that later in the week, Ryan. So chill out. Chill out, Ryan.
Yeah, we actually decided today before the show that we were going to save the Cam comments for their own show because it deserved its own show.
Yes, and not like being the back half of this J.C. Latham rant.
What do they say about assumptions?
Ask out of Ryan, I guess.
That's right.
And Cam Ward. All right, Rob, my shade at Walmart. Using too many parking spots for grocery pickups, more pickup spots and handicap spots close to the door. Well, I mean, there's probably laws about that. So Jeff says shade on Michigan players defending their logo instead of their end zone, and about 20 of their players waited for hours in the tunnel after the game. I thought that was so weird, like that Michigan players were circling their middle logo in the field for way too long. Like, guys, zoom out. You look like idiots. Like you're worried about your middle field logo, and you're like, we must protect this house, Jeff.
It's about honor.
Proper shade.
Yeah.
On that, my shade is going to be on the hilariousness of, speaking of assumptions, of people reacting to my tweet when I tweeted this during the.
You made a whole graphic for it? That's so funny.
Yeah, well, look at all the response, man. 5:38 p.m., which was mid third quarter, I'm guessing, of when I was like, screw this game. And I, Tennessee Vols graduate and fan Austin Stanley, tweeted Diego Pavia, Vanderbilt quarterback, deserves the Heisman Trophy. That's all. And the amount of people in those 122 replies could not be more different, or there's so much variance in that. There are the Vol fans who think I'm a traitor. There are Vol fans who agree with me. There are Vandy fans who are giving appreciation because they understand I'm a Vol guy and are thankful for that unbiased appreciation. There are Vandy fans who think I was coping with the Tennessee loss by saying Diego Pavia deserves the Heisman, which is not the case. Then there are Indiana fans, Ohio State fans, Notre Dame fans who are assuming that I'm a Vandy guy, saying that Diego Pavia deserves the Heisman Trophy over Mendoza, Sayin, or Love. And I just find it hilarious that this is an objective college football tweet. Diego Pavia deserves the Heisman Trophy. And if anybody out there does not understand or look at Mendoza's stats or Sayin's stats and tell me what's the difference in theirs and Diego Pavia's. Oh, actually, Pavia has more yards. Pavia has more total touchdowns than Sayin by a long shot. Julian Sayin has basically been drinking Mai Tais throughout this entire Ohio State college season because they haven't played anybody or been losing a game ever. Like they lost they beat Texas 14-7 in week 1, and Texas had a garbage time touchdown to make it not 14-0. Like Julian Sayin has zero pressure.
Diego Pavia is number 1 in total offense among Power 4 players. He accounts for 334.8 yards per game on his own. He's number 4 in the FBS in passer efficiency. He's number 2 in rushing yards amongst Power 4 quarterbacks. He accounts for 71.4% of Vanderbilt's total offense. He holds the Vanderbilt single season record for passing yards in a game, total yards in a season, passing yards in a season. He's the only Power 4 player with 2 top 10 total offense games this season. He has the most passing yards in FBS in November. He's the first SEC player since Jaden Daniels, Heisman winner, with 250-plus passing yards and 150-plus rushing yards in a game. And he's the only player in SEC history to have, back-to-back 400-plus yard games?
Yeah, he's also the only player in college football history to lead Vanderbilt to a 10-2 regular season.
Which you should get triple points for that, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about a degree of difficulty.
Yeah.
My shade is along these lines. It's a future casting shade. It's just shade at the fact that Vandy's not going to get into the playoff when
Time out. I'm not done. Rob.
Oh, there's more.
Don't give a damn. Rob. Pavia, typical college running quarterback that won't get a shot in the pros like other Heisman. Nobody cares. That's not what this is about, guys. This is not at all what Diego Pavia is. The Heisman Trophy, I learned this in 1997. The Heisman Trophy has nothing to do with the NFL.
Right. It is not the best NFL prospect award.
Yeah.
Let college football be its own thing. I'm with you 100% on this.
The most outstanding player in college football is supposed to get the Heisman Trophy. Last year, it was Travis Hunter. That was fair. He was very outstanding, and he was very groundbreaking. Most of the times, it's not. Like, there are big snubs. Diego Pavia is the most outstanding player in college football this year, by far. Like, he has Vanderbilt 10-2. I get that Mendoza is a top draft prospect and has Indiana undefeated. And that's the fact that Indiana and
Mendoza's great. Like, nobody's saying Mendoza's not great. He's great. I hate how college players' reputations, like in history, remembers them differently based on, and I get why it's this way, but like the fact that Vince Young's reputation as a football player in American history is tarnished by the fact that he didn't pan out in the NFL. It's like, oh, but he was amazing in college. Like he was one of the best college quarterbacks we'd ever seen. Why can't we remember him as that guy? And I think with some guys like that, we do. Like, I think a lot of folks still do remember Vince. Who cares that he went to the Titans and flamed out? Whatever. He was awesome at Texas. And with Diego Pavia, you're right. He's going to be awesome 3 times a year in August in the preseason, and I will be watching those games. But he's not going to be an NFL quarterback. Who cares? He rules in college.
The perfect Diego Pavia comparison.
Okay.
Jimmer Fredette.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Do you know what Jimmer Fredette is doing right now? He's not in the NBA. He's not in the NBA.
Right, is he a professional 3-on-3 player?
Yeah, and he's like an Olympian.
Yeah.
And I've been on this for over a year. Diego Pavia, 2028, United States Olympic quarterback. Yeah. Tell me I'm wrong.
I can't wait till we get to that conversation. Sure, throw him in the ring. Let's give him a tryout. I'm in on that. Why not?
He would be awesome. He would be so good. That's the perfect.
Fun to watch.
That's
no
the
doubt about that.
Perfect flag football Olympic quarterback. Just like Jimmer Fredette is the perfect 3-on-3 Olympic basketball player.
I just think that Diego Pavia is like, if I could construct my ideal for a college quarterback, it's Diego Pavia, man. Like if the NFL didn't exist and I was just trying to create the guy that was perfect for college, that's what he is. I think he's the ideal college quarterback. So I hope he wins. I think there's a chance he wins. I don't think it's unheard of that he's going to win the award. I don't know what the betting odds are this morning. Let's check.
Jeff, see, Julian Sand has not been in any stress, Jeff. Pavia has more losses, more interceptions, and cost himself more games, Austin. Yeah, but he's also won his team games, dude. It's at Vanderbilt. Come on, Jeff. Like, wake the hell up. You can insert any of the past 6 Ohio State quarterbacks on this current roster, and Ohio State would be 12-0, including the bro Kyle McCord who transferred to Syracuse. Like,
bro,
tell me I'm wrong. He has the easiest job in all of college football, Julian Sand. I'm not saying he's bad. Not at all.
So
he has the easiest job.
Right. And it's down to those 3. And Jeremiah Love is not going to get the award.
The idea of giving the easiest job in college football the Heisman Trophy for being good.
Congrats. You didn't screw it up.
Throw up in my mouth.
Right. As of this morning on FanDuel, Mendoza and Pavia are tied for the lead at plus 160 odds, and then Julian Sand just behind them at plus 195. And then it falls off a cliff. Jeremiah Love at plus 4,500. So it's going to be one of these 3 quarterbacks, and Diego Pavia has as good of odds as any of the other 2. I hope he wins it. My shade is also Vanderbilt, as I mentioned. It is the fact that I don't think they're going to get in the playoff, but they absolutely should. Vanderbilt. I love that the nerds at Vanderbilt have taken it upon themselves to put together research papers on why Vanderbilt deserves to be in. I don't know if you saw this morning. They put out a 2-page memo that they have sent to the entire world.
I got the email.
Did you get the email? Yeah. So literally the entire world. A data-driven argument for them to be in the playoff. And if you read it with an open mind, it is compelling. It is. Also, if you watch Vanderbilt with your eyes in the past, month, you also probably feel compelled to be like, I don't know about the rest of the college football landscape, man, but this is exactly the type of team I want to sit and watch in the playoffs. Like, I understand why Oklahoma is going to get in. Nobody wants to watch Oklahoma play in the playoffs. Not even Oklahoma fans in their heart of hearts are going to be entertained by watching that offense play in the playoffs. If you polled America on who between these 2 teams, who between Vanderbilt and Miami, who between Vanderbilt and Notre Dame, shout out our boy Ryan, who would you rather watch in the college football playoff? The answer is clear.
I think Notre Dame is. I think the only topic is Oklahoma. like Oklahoma.
You wouldn't rather watch Vanderbilt than Miami? I sure would. I think their case laps Miami's.
They're pretty similar.
Vanderbilt's strength of schedule is 22nd. Miami's was like 67th.
Yeah, I get that. But I understand. I'm not trying to have that argument. Like, I don't think there's that much of a difference. And they're also not in it.
To be clear, I threw in Notre Dame just because, 1, I believe that Vanderbilt is a better team than Notre Dame, but 2, I knew that it would get Ryan's goat.
Yeah,
and it did.
Ryan's always watching. He's always just creeping around.
Notre Dame belongs in the playoff. Don't be mad at me.
Oklahoma's resume and their path here is playoff deserving, but nobody wants to watch that football game.
Nope. Is Duke going to get in the playoff? What's gonna happen with the ACC? I'll tell you what's gonna happen.
Virginia's going to win.
Ultimately, what's gonna happen is some ACC team's gonna get in. That's gonna make me mad.
No, Virginia's going to win, and they're going to get in as the 12th seed, and then they're going to get stomped.
And that's gonna make me mad.
And they're going to get stomped.
Prediction correct.
Georgia, if Georgia loses the game to Bama, or Texas Tech.
Vanderbilt should be in the playoff, and it's going to be a crying shame when they aren't.
They don't. There's too many teams. I don't want to
expand the playoff. Expand the playoff.
No.
16 teams.
This is what the problem is. The problem is that there are too many teams in conferences where you're not beating up on each other enough.
Like the ACC and the Big 12.
Well, it's the percent, and I made this point months ago, the percentage of conference games per teams in the conference. Like there are 18 teams in the Big Ten. They play 9 conference games. So you play just over 50% of your conference opponents to where Indiana can get the schedule it got last year. The SEC plays 8 conference games for 16 teams.
The way that Texas A&M can get their schedule this year.
Exactly. Yeah. And also the way that Vanderbilt and Oklahoma and Ole Miss and Alabama and Georgia and Texas A&M all have 2 losses or less. Because there's not enough games against each other. That's crazy. How many SEC teams did I mention there? 6? 6 teams out of 16 that have 2 losses or less. That's not good scheduling. And they fixed it. Now they're going to play 9. Big Ten needs to play 10 conference games to fix there because they had 18, not 16. And now you're going to see less of that.
Is there any way for Vandy to make it in? I mean, it would require the committee to just decide that they're going to make it the Invitational and pick the team that they like.
Which is basically what
it already is kind of an Invitational, but it would require them just being like, you know what? They'd have to screw over. They'd have to make some other fan base really angry.
There's no way they're going to do it. It's already like they needed Oklahoma to lose to LSU, which kind of got close to happening, but didn't. They needed BYU to lose, or
that would have helped BYU.
No, BYU, because BYU was already in the conference title game, so they needed Notre Dame to lose to.
You think BYU could have lost that game and still gotten in?
Yeah, because they had already locked up their conference championship game.
Yeah, but if they lost to,
it didn't matter.
Maybe on paper, but again, the committee doesn't operate just on paper. It is. I mean, it's not even a college ball playoff. It's the college ball invitational. It's what it is. They could have been like, not you guys. I mean, they say themselves that playing your best football at the end of the season is one of the. Here's what the college ball committee says they value: playing the best football at the end of the season, ranked wins, strength of schedule, no bad losses, and a dominant final data point.
For sure. And Garrett's not wrong. A&M had a top 15 strength of schedule preseason. Not their fault. Those teams sucked. Dead right. Because I just said that
nobody's blaming A&M for playing the schedule that they had. We're just saying we don't believe you.
That's the way.
We don't believe in you.
Well, and like the whole thing about like Vandy technically has 0 ranked wins. Technically. Now. Right. But no.
Because they beat a bunch of ranked teams and they all got bumped out of the rankings when Vandy.
And guess what? Guess what happens when you beat ranked teams? They fall.
Right.
Like, and so like there's a messed up like viewpoint. There's not a lot of ranked wins active because the ranked teams don't have many losses.
The ranked teams are the ones that beat the teams that are no longer ranked.
Yes,
in order to be ranked, you have to be the one that won the game.
Yeah, and so there's just like South Carolina was ranked, LSU was ranked, Mizzou was ranked, Tennessee was ranked. Technically, that's 4. And then they lost at Alabama and at Texas.
When we have no standard for like talking about ranked at the time versus ranked now. I saw people fighting mad at ESPN because within the same program Saturday morning, they showed a graphic, and I forget which teams it was, but like they showed a graphic of one team and they showed their ranked wins in terms of where the teams are ranked now. And then like 50 minutes later, they showed a different team and showed it was Texas. They showed Texas's schedule and showed their ranked wins as ranked at the time. And it's like, well, that's not fair at all because it makes Texas look way better than this other team. Anyways, college football, man. Crazy sport.
But that's why it's so beautiful. You can't have this in the NFL. You can't have this conversation in the NFL.
And I it's what I love about the NFL is that it's facts.
It's what I don't
facts
like
over feelings.
No, I don't care about that. I want to have fun.
I care about
Let's
facts.
have fun conversations. That's what college football has more fun
facts,
conversations.
Truth and justice. That's what the NFL stands for. That's the shield, baby.
That's it for us. We're out of here on this Tuesday. Easton, you've got prime time tonight. Maybe you'll talk about Cam Ward's comments that Ryan thinks we've been glossing over for 2 days now. But make sure you hit that like button, like the show before you head out of here. We appreciate you guys quite a bit. Easton live tonight for prime time at 7. And we'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock as well. Appreciate it as always.